To sort of go back to the last video, we were using the pen tool and the shape tool to really make a couple major outlines in our picture. Now, the pen tool can be a little tricky. Remember when we selected the pen tool, we wanted to make sure that it was set with no fill, that sort of none fill. We wanted to make sure we picked a color that we could see. Black, white, or gray would probably be difficult to see, and we wanted to make sure it was at one point. Now, the way the pen tool works is that you click once, it creates a little anchor point, and that anchor point appears as a little blue dot. If you click again, it creates a straight line. And if I keep going and clicking, it'll just keep creating straight lines all the way through. I'm going to undo this. Okay. Now, the issue with that is that we may not want straight lines, we want curves. So to create this curved sort of effect, we take our pen tool, we click once, and we let go. We've created that one point. Now we want to pick another spot on the picture to click without releasing, holding the cursor pad down, and then to drag. Oops, sorry. Even I have some trouble with it. Remember, Control Z is to undo. You click, hold, and drag. And when you drag, you should be able to pull out what's called a handle. The handle is what can create a curve. Now, we don't want to make these handles gigantic. The longer and bigger we make the handles, the more problematic they are. But we don't want to make them teeny tiny and short too. So like if you make them really short, all right, I got my curve. Now when I try to make my next handle, you can see what's happening is it's sort of created this bump in my curve that I don't really like. Part of that is because it's trying to copy the same, or at least start the same angle that you began in the beginning. I'm going to go around and finish doing this, even though mine over here is a little bit messed up. And now I've gotten back to the beginning and I've closed my shape. So I've outlined my eye, but I'm not 100% happy on this up here, and I feel like this is probably a little too low down there. So I could just erase it and start over again. It's always a possibility, but I think I could try to fix it. Now, one of the ways we could fix it is a tool that we've used before, and that is getting the Direct Select tool. All right, so right beneath the pen, we used this before when we reshaped the circle for the apple. Remember when we created a circular shape, and then we used the Direct Select to sort of adjust that shape to make it a little less round? Well, we could do the same thing here with the Direct Selection tool. Now, I'm going to go to the problem area over here, and you can see when I get over that actual little dot, it highlights it. I'm going to zoom in. If I click on it, all of a sudden you're going to see that handle appear. And even though I finished my shape, I can go back in here and sort of adjust my handle until it kind of fits the way I want it to. I can even make parts of it longer or shorter if I need to. The one good thing about working like this is that even if you make some mistakes, once you know how to use the tools, you don't necessarily have to undo them and start over. You can simply manipulate the points where they already are, adjust them and change them and move them so they look better. In the case down here, I'll kind of just click and drag and move this, kind of adjust the curve as I have it. And by doing this, I can kind of reform what was already there. I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time to kind of show you how to fix a problematic area. Let's start with our pen tool again. Okay, we're going to click once to create an anchor point. I'm going to click again and hold, sorry about that, to create a curve. Now I kind of screwed that one up, but that's good. That's a good thing because I want to, again, try to figure out how to fix it. I'm going to click and drag and hold again, and again, and again, and again. I say that Mr. B, this is a pretty lousy job that you've done here. Doesn't look good at all. All right, it isn't. I need to fix this. I'm going to go over to my Direct Select tool. I'm going to go back to each point, and I'm going to see what I can do to kind of readjust those points to make them work. And try to click on the dot, use the arms on the handles, and try to adjust this till I make it sort of work for me. And you know, what I'm showing you over here would be a really kind of messed up version of it. But even in a fully sort of first pass fail here, I can come back in and really fix things by using that direct selection tool. And you see, as long as you have those anchor points in, well, you can manipulate them, change them, and adjust them to fit your picture however you want. One of the things you do want to make sure of, though, is that at the very end of your shape ends up being connected. So you see how I have this little opening here? I'm going to use my direct selection tool. I'm going to click. I'm going to drag it to make sure that it meets up with that last little bit. Okay? And there I have my first part of the shape of the eye. All right? And again, the direct selection tool is one way you can fix that. I'll rename my shape. My shape 1 here is going to be the eyeball. I'm going to go ahead and find my ellipse tool. I'm going to do a circle for my pupil. I'm going to grab that ellipse tool again, and I'm going to do another circle for my iris. And if you don't have the ability to move it around exactly the way you want, remember, you can always use the move tool, kind of rearrange and adjust these things. And if you want to adjust a different part, you simply go to that layer and then click and move it around. So I wanted a circle for my pupil. I wanted a circle for my iris, which is the color part of the eye. I wanted an outline for my eyeball. I can also add one more line here, and I think I'm going to do that for the crease of my eyelid, just where you see it. And really, once you have all that stuff in and it is finished, all good, and you can see your little lines and they're open up. Also, I have the rectangle to do around the entire thing. I want to go ahead and save this, take a screenshot, save it as a PSD, and then gathering on your screen, it is the Windows key, Shift, and S. I'll take myself a nice little screenshot of what I have. All right, and that's what I'll be submitting. All right, guys, so that's another option or another way that you can work with these pen tools to fix your work if you should have issues.